Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, on this April 2026. I have not done an updated video on the FPV drone battery conversion kit for a bit, so I am here now going to provide you all with an update. First of all, I would like to thank you all for purchasing and trying out this new conversion system. I have a whole list of you, and I would certainly like to shout you all out. But for privacy concerns, I wish to keep that anonymous. Let's just go ahead and just want to thank you all. And you all know who you are who have purchased this and have tried it out. This is a version 2 as bought from my website. Here I have several of them ready to ship. And it is quite an interesting bit of workload to keep up with you all. So again, thank you very much for that. I am just me here doing this project, basically DIY project. This is not a manufactured system. It's just me, myself, and I doing all this. And so I appreciate the feedback as well, as several of you have emailed me concerning the operations of this. One of the comments did say that I charge too much for this system. I would like to, in this video, break down exactly what is involved, and you all have seen what is involved as the videos that I do on my Facebook page. Here is the complete system. As you can see, the battery is here and it's all assembled as we see. We'll put those away. Now, first of all, one of the first steps is 3D printing the case, of course. So you would have this. After the case is printed, it is not ready to even begin to assemble. First of all, we have to remove all the, as you've seen in the pictures, the standoffs and everything else in here that the supports I meant that print this. I print it like this, so there's supports that go up all around here, so forth. After that, I need to make sure that each and every one of the supports are out of the grooves here to allow the board to slip down without any issues. Following that, I then drill out these holes here. I'll show you the system that we have for that. I've purchased some tools to make this easier, though the steps that are involved are not difficult at all, but they are tedious for sure. Then we go ahead and put these M2 brass inserts in here. Again, this is not at all terribly difficult, but when you're doing a whole lot of them, it can add up. As I said, it's not hard. It's just very time consuming and very tedious. So here we are, my latest batch here, and each one of the steps I'll be explaining has to be done over on each and every one of them, because I want to make sure that you all have the most, highest quality. So once that is done, let me show you, first of all, I have here the world's greatest and most powerful drill press. Of course, all tongue-in-cheek. So this is what I use to drill out these holes, because if they are not drilled out, or rather made perfectly round, then you'll have trouble putting the screws in. I do so also with this. Like I say, I've shown this on other clips on my Facebook page, making sure that each of these holes here are drilled out perfectly, and thus the screws can go down into their respective placements without any issues. In fact, I spy here a little bit of stuff that needs to be attended to. There we go. Make sure that there's nothing in the hole, and it all looks very pleasing on the outside. There we go. Little stuff like that, because we all know 3D printing is not perfect. So all this little stuff has to be done. Then there's the cleaning out, because when we go and insert these balance leads in here, we want to make sure that there's nothing to keep it hung up. So there's what's it called, supports in here, of course, when these get printed, and just have to make sure that everything is cleaned out here so there's nothing that prevents them from slipping in perfectly into the respective slots here. And then, like I say, printing out all these, there's a whole bunch of them just printed out separately. As far as cleaning off the 3D stuff, in this case, like I said, I just mentioned that in the front. That's my main thing. And then over here, putting these two, basically clipping into the brass standoffs in the holes to begin with, and then using my tool here, which I have demonstrated before in previous videos. Just here we go. It's a little stand here, and we goes down here, and we make sure that these end up to be perfectly square, like so. A heated iron goes in here and melts them in perfectly. So that's made the task a little easier. So I've gotten a couple of tools to make these tasks, these tedious tasks, a little easier and quicker, more manufactured type. So once that's all done, that's just a preparation. So that's preparation to make sure that these are working. These are prepared. So then, of course, we have the buttons that we print out that go in the back here. No cleanup is done on them because they are good as they are. And then this goes in here. And then we just make sure that every hole lines up here, because these are only M2 screws. The slightest thing gets in the way, we'll end up cross-stripping them. And we don't want that. So then these two also line up perfectly, as they should. And like I say, we're past the prototype stage. It's just a matter of, explaining to you all what's involved in the, iterations of each of these. So then there comes this. When I dismantle the battery, again, I've shown many videos on how you all can do this yourself if you want to. But these are the balancing leads that come out of dismantling of the BMS board, which is actually here. I just took another one apart, tested it. It's good, ready to go into its perspective things. Mirror stubs here, of course, and then you've got your balance lead here that plugs in here. So these have to be mounted or soldered, sorry. These need to be soldered onto a length of balance cable here. And then what happens is the disc gets fed in here like so. And then we go and put it through here. Like I've said, I've shown this before. And then this gets pressed into place. And then this plugs into the board. But first, each and every one of these must be soldered. Another very tedious process, which thankfully my friend volunteered to assist in that. And I have to have, one for each one of these conversion setups. So that's what has to be done with this. And like I said, we're not even on to the assembly stages yet. This is just preparing it. And then we have these. These are what slides into here and get secured into place. And then, so these are what gets soldered onto here, as I have shown in previous videos. Then there are these that slip into here and are then soldered onto here, as I've shown in previous videos. I have a whole bunch set up here. And then what we do is, it has become necessary because let me show you what they look like. So, I'll grab one here. So what you have is a nub here that is sticking out, and it will interfere with assembling into here. So, I mean, it will go together. It just provides pressure where it doesn't need to be. So I need to file these off, and I used to do this by hand, which was fine, but when you're doing a lot of them, it gets very tedious. So what I have now, I have gotten a helpful tool to assist with that. And simply as this runs, It's a little miniature belt sander, and you can attach little polishing wheels up here. It's a kind of a jeweler's type of machine. And then you come over here, and then we kind of sand off the nub here, so that making sure that the lid fits perfectly on with the case, which has worked fine. And that's what I have done here, setting all these up ready for, now these are ready for installation. I just need to cut these to the prescribed length when putting it inside, because you don't want it to be too long or too short. So that's all set up there. So once we have this, all these soldered up here, we are then ready for the assembly process. Now, one of the things that to do is, trim this little rubber nubs here, so that there won't be any hang up inside here, because what happens is that this had to be thickened in order so that it would be able to work properly, because everything 3D printed is stronger, not as strong as extruded plastic, so it has to be thicker. So once that's done, then the board slips down into these grooves effortlessly. But first, naturally, we would need to, like I say, do the operations, solder this, put this in here, slip this in here. Then I back it up, and I've shown this in other pictures with this wonderful sealant here, my favorite sealant that keeps everything all together. One of the things that our next step here actually is to do is to drill a hole here so we can put a bolt through here. And so this doesn't move in the operation of pulling this in and out, so it stays there. So all these little things do add up and take a lot of time. Naturally, there's the cost of these as well. I must buy them. I buy them from Amazon, and in fact, I'm getting a little low on the solder. This has lasted for many years for all my FPV builds and everything. I found that this spool in itself is like $67. I don't know where the price of tin has gone to, but what are you going to do? Then we have our inventory of M2 screws. Also, we have to consider, because it takes 4 screws per build. 2 here and then 2 here. Then, of course, the cost of the battery. This is a disassembled one, which can range from $70 to $100 from various sources. Again, I don't buy them new. I try to buy them. If I have to buy them new, then so be it. I try to get used ones. But anyway, range from $70 to $100. Then we have these also. That we purchased from Amazon. They come as attached to the other end, male and female, and I just cut this end off here. Then, of course, since I sell it with a battery, this is another $40 or $50, including the shipping. I'm glad they're available in the States from none other than Fly High FPV. So then, of course, there is, not to be forgotten, the cost of the PET GHF. To print these. So all that adds up, and if anyone thinking is that I am making a profit off from this project, I am not. This is done for all of you. It's a pretty niche market for whoever is still flying this potato, as it is fondly referred to. Like I say, no modifications have been done to this particular drone, as you see in front of you, because we're only covering the battery modification. But for those who still fly it, I offer, the ability to purchase something of this nature, so that you all can be able to not have to pay those ridiculous prices for new batteries. Again, also the work must be done on here, because traditionally this battery comes with a padded front section here, which is relatively thick, which is great. When you're doing FPV drones, you hit it, you don't want to damage the battery, and this provides some measure of protection. However, for this, if I had retained it, it would stick beyond this and would interfere with actually being able to connect the socket and this to go in fully. So I removed that and put some tape over it. So it comes like this. This is perfectly safe. And there is nothing that's going to hit this because it is in the drone, of course, inside here, all protected. So don't be alarmed when you see that. It's just so it is easier for the connectors as well as it fitting in the drone properly. And this is covered on my website as well. Furthermore, there have been comments of these ears breaking upon occasion. As something I have not experienced myself at all through the numerous uses I've had this. So if one inserts this into here, into the actual drone, and then tries to pull it out, by pulling on here, it's possible that one can possibly break such ears. So I've included on my website instructions to only insert this into the drone with the battery in it, and you can push against here and hold and grab as long as you want to, and it has a backstop of the battery so it doesn't go too far. So that should be the solution to any of the breaks. If anybody has a situation where it has been broken due to either inserting it without the battery or something else, go ahead and email. I am very easy to get a hold of. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I include all the details on my website in the link below. And I will happily print you a new one. Just send the whole unit back, and I will put it all back to new. And then you just make sure that you have the battery in when you squeeze and push this out, and that's all you need to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. You can contact very easily, and I do respond and try to do so within less than a day. So if I don't get to you within that time, don't worry, I am going to. Either I missed it or it got lost in the emails. Go ahead and message me on Facebook as well. There are multiple ways to reach out to me on Discord, email, Facebook Messenger, so many ways of your preferred method. The purpose of this video is to answer the question that I am charging too much for this system. I will let you all be the judge of that, the work that is involved, the cost of what is required to make this system. If we're only talking about one, maybe, but this is a whole project. So, like I said, the purpose of this is not to make money off from any person. In fact, I am not making any money off of anybody. This is for the community. This is for you all. This is so you all can continue to enjoy this wonderful hobby for the community that flies and enjoys flying these DJI FPV drone. I understand that it is considerably older, 2021 or 22. When did it come? It came out a while ago, but I wish to keep them alive. It started as a side pet project, and now here we are, seeing that we can improve on it and be able to use regular LiPo batteries of this nature that fits in here perfectly, and you all can be able to enjoy the flight of these quads. Au revoir.